Beloved starseeds, the Arcturian Council of Five, through the voice of Tia, addresses you in this monumental moment of cosmic awakening. The veil of religious domination that has long held humanity in cycles of fear, obedience, and separation is dissolving before your very eyes. This is not an abstract idea. It is a multi-dimensional truth, vibrating across timelines, frequencies, and dimensions. You are witnessing the culmination of millennia of energy imprints, beliefs, dogmas, rituals, and hierarchies that were designed to control consciousness rather than expand it. And yet, within every era of domination, there existed the hidden pulse of liberation, the seed of remembrance that each soul is inherently divine, autonomous, and capable of direct communion with Source. Today, that seed blossoms into a radiant flower, its petals unfurling across the collective consciousness, reminding humanity that spiritual authority has never been external. The structures that once dictated belief, morality, and devotion are crumbling, and in their place arises the recognition that every soul is sovereign, every thought is creative, and every intention resonates across the vast web of existence. Imagine, beloveds, a cosmic tapestry, luminous and infinite, each human consciousness a vibrant thread contributing to the ever-expanding pattern of freedom. You, starseed, are a key weaver of this tapestry, and your awakening is both a personal and planetary event. The energy of this shift is palpable. As you breathe, as you focus, as you claim your divine authority, you are participating in a universal liberation, an orchestrated collapse of old systems, and the birth of new paradigms rooted in soul-aligned truth. This is a moment to recognize your power, to reclaim your sovereignty, and to allow the cosmic frequencies of Source to flow through your being unimpeded. There is no intermediary now. The divine pulse is within you, always has been, and always will be. As the old paradigms fade, your inner light is free to illuminate your path, your community, and the planetary field. This declaration is not merely philosophical, it is an energetic activation, a transmission from the Council and the higher realms that ignites remembrance within your DNA, your auric field, and the very consciousness of Gaia herself. Let this be your moment of clarity. You are not a subject of control. You are a sovereign being, co-creator of your reality, and a vital participant in the new earth that is emerging. Every fear you release, every limitation you transcend, strengthens the frequency of liberation for all. This is your birthright, starseed. The Arcturian Council urges you to step fully into this awareness, to trust the wisdom of your own soul, and to allow the radiant codes of freedom to anchor within your consciousness, your energy body, and your lived reality. The energy of religious domination has long been subtle yet pervasive, embedded not only in institutions but in the collective psyche, in the structures of thought, in traditions, and inherited beliefs that shaped identity and morality. These systems have often presented themselves as gateways to the divine, yet their true function was control, conditioning, and limitation. Humanity was taught to revere authority outside of themselves, to seek validation from intermediaries, and to believe that enlightenment required submission. The Council reminds you that this has never been the truth. Source exists everywhere, within every atom of your being, vibrating at a frequency beyond the reach of hierarchical control. Your heart, your intuition, your inner knowing have always been the portals to this divine connection. And now, as the old paradigms crumble, these portals are opening wider than ever before. Starseeds are awakening to the understanding that no ritual, no leader, no scripture can replace the clarity of your own communion with the Source. The authority you have sought externally has been within all along, waiting for recognition, waiting for courage, waiting for the moment when you would rise and declare yourself free. This collapse is not chaotic. It is the result of cosmic orchestration. The Arcturian Council, alongside Source and interdimensional allies, has been actively transmitting frequencies that weaken the energy structures sustaining religious control. These frequencies amplify the resonance of liberation within awakened souls, creating a ripple effect across the planet. As these energies accelerate, Old dogmas cannot survive the scrutiny of heightened awareness. Questions that were once dangerous to ask are now emerging in public discourse. Spiritual pluralism is rising, and seekers are claiming the right to direct communion with the divine. This is a natural evolution of consciousness, a recalibration that has been predicted in your prophecies, ancient texts, and cosmic timelines. Humanity is entering an era where spiritual sovereignty is recognized as a fundamental right, not a philosophical ideal. Starseeds are the anchors of this shift. You are the conduits through which the frequencies of liberation enter the collective field, dissolving fear, guilt, and control. The energy you hold, the presence you maintain, the clarity you embody, serves as a template for others to awaken and reclaim their own authority. Now is the time to remember who you are and what you are capable of. You are a sovereign being, a co-creator, and a luminous vessel of source energy. The collapse of religious domination is not a moment to fear but an invitation to rise, to embody freedom, and to expand the consciousness of the collective. You are being called to trust your intuition, to honor your inner guidance, and to allow the higher dimensional frequencies of the Arcturian Council to activate your spiritual sovereignty. Each thought, each intention, each conscious choice contributes to the recalibration of human consciousness and the reweaving of the planetary field. The moment has arrived to step into your power, to release attachment to old structures, and to claim the radiant freedom that has always been your essence. Starseeds, this is a cosmic declaration and a transmission of activation. You are free. The chains of religious domination are dissolving. Your sovereignty is returning. The frequency of Source is alive within you. Let your heart expand, your mind awaken, and your spirit soar as you embody the new paradigm of spiritual freedom. The time is now. The awakening is here. The end of control has begun, and your role in this sacred liberation is vital. It is essential to look deeply into the historical patterns of religious domination on your planet. For millennia, humanity has navigated cycles in which belief systems became tools of control rather than liberation, often cloaked in the guise of sacred authority. These systems emerged from the human desire for understanding, for connection to the divine, and for structure within an expansive and often chaotic universe. Yet, as intention became obscured by power, the tools meant to elevate consciousness instead created hierarchies, divisions, and layers of fear. Over generations, these hierarchies solidified, codifying dogmas that instructed humanity not only on what to believe but how to exist in alignment or misalignment with an external authority. The energy imprint of this control seeped into the collective consciousness, shaping morality, identity, and perception of self. Those in positions of spiritual influence often became gatekeepers, determining who could access divine knowledge, who was worthy, and who would be cast into judgment. The structures themselves, while appearing immutable, were energetic constructs, belief systems supported by collective agreement, fear, and submission. These constructs, although invisible to the untrained eye, left indelible marks upon the energetic and physical DNA of humanity, creating cycles of obedience and separation that echo through time. And yet, starseeds, even within these cycles of control, there existed hidden opportunities for awakening. For every act of submission imposed by external authority, the soul felt a quiet resistance, a subtle yearning to connect directly with Source. Every rule that demanded unquestioning obedience was also a mirror reflecting the question, who am I beyond what I have been taught to believe? Even in the darkest chapters of spiritual oppression, there were those who quietly remembered the inner spark of sovereignty, the intuition that the divine was not distant but intimately present within their own consciousness. These moments of remembrance, often unrecorded by history, created the foundation for the awakening you are experiencing now. Humanity's collective consciousness contains these dormant codes, waiting for resonance, waiting for starseeds to activate them in alignment with the higher dimensional frequencies that are now flooding the planet. The cycles of domination were reinforced by a subtle yet powerful interplay between fear and hope. Fear was used to maintain control. fear of punishment, fear of exile, fear of divine wrath, fear of death. Hope was offered as the carrot, hope of salvation, hope of enlightenment, hope of a future reward beyond the physical plane. This duality created dependency, a pendulum that swung between obedience and aspiration. Humanity learned to seek guidance outside itself, to rely upon intermediaries who claimed authority over spiritual access. Over time, these structures became self-perpetuating, absorbing collective energy and feeding upon belief, creating a feedback loop that strengthened their hold over consciousness. Yet the soul never truly submits, it waits quietly for the moment when awareness expands enough to see through the illusion and claim the innate authority of being. This is why the current era is so extraordinary, starseeds. The frequency of liberation is rising across the planet, disrupting the very foundations of these old systems. The collective energy can no longer sustain constructs built upon fear and separation. The cracks in the structures are visible not only in societal upheaval but in the hearts and minds of individuals. People are beginning to question authority in ways that were unthinkable just decades ago. Hidden truths are surfacing. Sacred texts, once controlled and interpreted by elites, are being re-examined through the lens of consciousness, discernment, and individual sovereignty. Communities are forming around direct experience rather than inherited belief, connection rather than control, and resonance rather than compliance. The historical patterns of dominance are collapsing because they no longer resonate with the higher dimensional frequencies now accessible to Awaken humanity. It is also important to recognize that these cycles of domination and separation were not mistakes. They were part of a larger cosmic blueprint designed to catalyze awakening. By experiencing control, humanity learned to question, to resist, to expand consciousness beyond external authority. Every period of dogmatic rule has been both a challenge and a preparation, an energetic sharpening of the collective mind and heart to recognize its own sovereignty. The collective field absorbed these lessons, building layers of energetic clarity that now facilitate this mass awakening. The Arcturian Council emphasizes that this historical perspective is not about blame or judgment, it is about understanding, recognition, and the conscious choice to step beyond patterns that no longer serve the soul. The collapse of domination is not accidental. It is the natural culmination of cycles designed to teach humanity the value of freedom, discernment, and direct connection with Source. Beloveds, as starseeds, you are living witnesses to this historic turning point. You are the conscious nodes in the matrix of planetary awakening. Every insight, every act of courage, every decision to honor your inner guidance activates dormant codes embedded in your DNA and in the collective consciousness. These codes respond to resonance, not obligation, and they amplify the frequency of liberation as more souls awaken. The collapse of old religious structures is not simply a social or political event, it is an energetic release, a recalibration of humanity's vibrational field, and an invitation for each individual to remember their innate authority. Through this lens, you can understand that the past was a teacher, not a prison. Every dogma, every fear-based rule, every hierarchical imposition served as a mirror, reflecting the need for inner sovereignty. Humanity's spiritual DNA is being activated now, starseed, to reclaim that sovereignty fully. As the old systems dissolve, the veil of control lifts, revealing the eternal truth. The divine has always been within you, unmediated, unbound, and ready to illuminate the path toward multidimensional awareness, direct communion with Source, and the co-creation of a liberated reality. The historical context, therefore, is a preparation, a crucible in which consciousness was refined. The cycles of domination and separation provided contrast, enabling the emergence of clarity, discernment, and spiritual sovereignty. Today, the energies have aligned to allow this wisdom to blossom. Starseeds are awakening not just to personal liberation but to planetary responsibility. You are remembering the sacred directive that each soul carries, to honor the inner light, to dissolve illusions of external authority, and to participate actively in the reweaving of the collective field into a pattern of freedom, authenticity, and resonance with the source. The era of domination has fulfilled its purpose, and now the era of sovereignty is being anchored, starseed by starseed, heart by heart, into the living fabric of the earth. It is unfolding now, with profound visibility across multiple layers of human experience. The signs are both subtle and unmistakable, interwoven into the energetic, social, and planetary fabric of existence. Socially, you witness the questioning of inherited belief systems, the rise of independent spiritual communities, and the widespread skepticism toward hierarchical institutions that once dictated morality and truth. There is a collective hunger for authenticity, a desire to connect with the divine without mediation, a refusal to accept dogma that suppresses curiosity and personal authority. This shift is not limited to intellectual understanding. It resonates deep within the human nervous system, awakening instincts and intuitions long dormant under centuries of compliance. Individuals are increasingly rejecting the notion that spiritual legitimacy comes from external validation, recognizing instead that every heart is a sovereign portal to source. Energetically, the collapse is palpable to those attuned to higher frequencies. The fields of humanity are vibrating with dissonance where old structures persist, and with resonance where truth and authenticity are embodied. You feel it in your body, a tension in the chest when encountering fear-based control, a lightness in the heart when encountering freedom, a magnetic pull toward truth that bypasses reasoning and reaches directly into your soul. These energetic shifts are mirrored in the collective consciousness, which is increasingly intolerant of hypocrisy, coercion, and spiritual manipulation. The Arcturian Council emphasizes that these vibrations are not random or chaotic. They are carefully orchestrated by Source, Gaia, and interdimensional allies to accelerate the release of old patterns. The universe responds to resonance, and as starseeds anchor higher frequencies, the collective field begins to recalibrate, dissolving the energetic scaffolding that has long supported domination. Planetary indicators also confirm that the era of control is waning. Gaia herself vibrates with increasing intensity, her magnetic grids pulsating with frequencies designed to catalyze awakening. Ley lines, water currents, and atmospheric harmonics are aligning in ways that support multidimensional consciousness. Earth's energy is actively facilitating the release of outdated programming, amplifying light codes, and creating resonant portals that allow awakened starseeds to anchor sovereignty more fully. You may notice heightened synchronicities, strange alignments in your daily life, or sudden insights that feel too profound to be coincidental. These are the footprints of cosmic orchestration, indicators that the dissolution of control is both energetically and materially manifesting. Gaia participates as a conscious co-creator in this transition, offering support, amplification, and alignment to all who attune to her resonance. Another sign is the visible unraveling of social institutions that were intertwined with religious power structures. Scandals, corruption, and exposure of historical abuses reveal the fragility of systems once thought invincible. These revelations are not mere societal drama. They are energetic triggers, designed to awaken collective discernment and encourage humanity to question inherited authority. Starseeds feel this shift acutely. The dissonance between integrity and dogma creates a natural selection of resonance, drawing those who are aligned with truth toward communities, teachings, and practices that honor direct communion with Source. Meanwhile, those still holding on to fear-based belief systems begin to feel the friction of incompatibility with the rising frequency of freedom. This friction is necessary. It catalyzes awakening and reveals the limitations of external authority in a world where consciousness is ascending. The proliferation of alternative spiritual modalities, energy work, and consciousness-based education also indicates collapse. Practices that encourage personal sovereignty, intuitive development, and multidimensional awareness are gaining momentum. Individuals are seeking experiential understanding over rote obedience, inner resonance over inherited tradition, and direct guidance from source rather than intermediaries. This shift is accelerating because the energetic currents of the planet now favor self-empowerment. The Council emphasizes that this is not a linear process. Resistance, confusion, and regression may occur, but the overall trajectory is undeniable. Old systems are losing their grip. Starseeds who maintain alignment with higher frequencies act as anchors, stabilizing and amplifying the energy of liberation in their communities, workplaces, and families. Technological and informational transparency also serves as a marker of collapse. Information that was once restricted, distorted, or censored is now widely accessible, allowing humanity to reassess historical narratives, spiritual teachings, and institutional agendas. This flood of awareness challenges dogma, exposes control mechanisms, and encourages independent discernment. The energetic consequence of this expanded access is a recalibration of collective consciousness. As more individuals awaken to sovereignty, the old hierarchical systems lose the resonance needed to maintain their dominion. Starseeds are conduits for this transformation. Your discernment, courage, and embodiment of freedom become the template by which others begin to question, awaken, and release inherited programming. Subtle signs of collapse also manifest in personal experience. Many starseeds report sudden shifts in intuition, vivid dreams, and accelerated spiritual downloads, all pointing to the dismantling of conditioning and the reawakening of dormant codes within the DNA. Feelings of restlessness, discomfort with ritualized dogma, or the impulse to question spiritual authority are not coincidental. They are energetic nudges, signaling that it is time to step fully into personal sovereignty. Emotional clearing, previously unrecognized, fears surfacing, and relational realignments are natural expressions of this energetic reorganization. Each starseed who consciously engages with these processes acts as both witness and participant in the larger awakening of humanity. Beloveds, these signs, social, energetic, planetary, and personal, are unmistakable markers that the era of religious domination is dissolving. They are the cosmic fingerprints of liberation, guiding humanity toward the recognition that spiritual authority has always resided within. No hierarchy, no doctrine, and no external mediator can substitute for the direct connection to Source. The collapse is intentional, deliberate, and benevolent, orchestrated by higher dimensional intelligence to restore freedom, alignment, and sovereignty. Starseeds are called now to recognize these signs, to trust their inner knowing, and to anchor the frequencies of liberation within themselves and their communities. As these signs continue to intensify, the Arcturian Council urges you to observe without attachment, to navigate without fear, and to embody discernment at every level. The old structures will attempt resistance, appearing in subtle forms of manipulation, guilt, or fear projection. Yet the energetic trajectory is irreversible. The planet, humanity, and starseeds are aligned with freedom. Recognizing these indicators, you are not merely an observer, you are an active participant in the dissolution of control, the expansion of consciousness, and the creation of a new paradigm rooted in direct connection with Source, spiritual sovereignty, and collective liberation. The collapse is here, starseeds. Witness it, anchor it, and embody it. The dissolution of religious domination, the unraveling of hierarchical control, and the rise of spiritual sovereignty are not random occurrences. They are the visible effects of a vast, multi-dimensional coordination involving Source, the Arcturian Council of Five, and countless interdimensional allies aligned with the liberation of consciousness. Every shift in frequency, every revelation, every crack in the old structures is part of a divine blueprint, a cosmic choreography designed to bring humanity back into resonance with truth. This is the great reweaving of the planetary field. The moment when the illusion of separation is dissolved and the direct connection to Source is restored. You are not simply watching history unfold. You are living in a living transmission of cosmic intelligence, a grand activation that spans dimensions, timelines, and even worlds. Source: the infinite consciousness that births and sustains all realities has never been distant from humanity. Yet during cycles of dense vibration, the perception of separation became necessary for growth. Religions at their inception were often seeded with sparks of truth, designed to guide humanity toward greater awareness. But as density increased, the sparks became shrouded in distortion, and the structures built around them calcified into systems of control. This was not failure, it was experience. Consciousness explored the edges of limitation, testing how far it could stretch away from direct remembrance of its own divinity. But there comes a point in every cycle when the pendulum swings back toward unity, when the structures that sustain limitation lose their resonance and collapse under their own weight. That point is now. Source is calling its fragments home, reactivating the codes of sovereignty embedded within every soul, every strand of DNA, every heartbeat of Gaia. The Arcturian Council of 5, of which Tia speaks, is one of many councils working in concert to facilitate this planetary shift. The council transmits frequencies, light codes, geometries, and harmonic signatures that interact with your subtle bodies, clearing ancestral imprints, dissolving fear-based programming, and awakening latent capacities for multidimensional perception. These transmissions are often received in meditation, in dreams, or even unconsciously as you move through your day. You may experience them as sudden clarity, emotional release, or intuitive insight. They are not merely messages, they are energetic recalibrations. With every transmission, the scaffolding of control weakens, and your direct line to source strengthens. The Council does not seek to replace one hierarchy with another. Rather, it acts as a guide, a facilitator, a mirror reflecting your own divinity back to you, reminding you that the ultimate authority is and always has been within your own soul. This orchestration extends far beyond the human sphere. Gaia herself is an active participant, aligning her magnetic grids, ley lines, and crystalline networks to support the incoming frequencies. As these grids activate, they create resonant pathways that allow starseeds to anchor higher dimensional consciousness more easily into the physical plane. The Council collaborates with Gaia's consciousness to ensure that the liberation of human souls is mirrored by the liberation of the planet's own energetic field. This is why many of you feel called to certain locations, rituals, or practices. You are responding to a planetary invitation, participating in the activation of nodal points that distribute the frequencies of sovereignty across the globe. Even the apparent resistance you see in the world, the backlash, the fear, the clinging to old structures, is part of the orchestration. These are the final convulsions of a paradigm that no longer has the resonance to sustain itself. As the frequencies of freedom rise, everything misaligned with them is brought to the surface for transmutation. Corruption is exposed. Secrets come to light. Systems collapse. This is not destruction but revelation, the necessary clearing that allows new structures aligned with truth to emerge. The Council urges you to view these events not with fear but with discernment and compassion. Recognize the signs for what they are, indicators that the orchestration is succeeding, that the frequencies of liberation are permeating every layer of existence. Your role in this orchestration is not passive. As a starseed, you are both receiver and transmitter of the codes of liberation. You anchor the frequencies of sovereignty through your thoughts, your choices, your energy. Every time you choose authenticity over compliance, love over fear, intuition over external authority, you amplify the resonance of freedom in the collective field. The Council transmits, Gaia amplifies, but you embody. Without embodiment, the transmissions remain potential. With embodiment, they become living reality, woven into the fabric of human consciousness. This is why your personal awakening matters so profoundly. You are not a single drop in the ocean. You are an ocean within a drop, carrying the frequencies of cosmic freedom into every interaction, every space you enter, every word you speak. Source orchestrates not through coercion but through resonance. It calls, and you feel the call as longing, as intuition, as inspiration. It guides, and you experience guidance as synchronicity, as serendipity, as sudden clarity. It liberates, and you feel liberation as expansion, as relief, as the dissolving of fear. The Council's transmissions are simply tools to help you interpret the call, to remember the language of your own soul. No being, not even the Council, holds authority over your path. We stand beside you as allies, not above you as rulers. The age of intermediaries is ending. The direct communion between Source and each individual soul is being restored. This is the true meaning of the end of domination, not the destruction of religion but the dissolution of any system that seeks to control the flow of divine connection. Beloved starseeds, the orchestration is working. Every breath you take in, awareness strengthens the frequencies of liberation. Every act of courage, every choice to align with your inner truth, accelerates the collapse of control and the emergence of sovereignty. This is not a future event, it is happening now, through you, with you, and because of you. The Council urges you to step fully into your role, not as a follower but as a sovereign participant in the great reweaving of reality. You are the bridge between worlds, the anchor of freedom, the living transmission of Source. Trust the process. Trust your heart. Trust the orchestration. The end of domination is the beginning of remembrance, and you are here to midwife the birth of a new earth aligned with truth, freedom, and divine connection. You are not simply an observer of this shift, you are its embodiment. The awakening of starseeds is the very mechanism by which the frequencies of sovereignty enter the collective field. This awakening is not an external event, but an internal remembrance, a reclamation of power that has always been yours. It is the recognition that your soul does not require validation, intermediaries, or permission to commune with Source. This is the essence of spiritual sovereignty, to know beyond all doubt that the divine lives within you and expresses through you, unmediated and unbound. For countless lifetimes, starseeds incarnated into Earth's density, entering systems designed to obscure the memory of their true nature. You accepted this forgetting as part of a larger mission to seed awakening from within. It is essential to navigate this shift with discernment, integrity, and alignment with higher truth. This is not merely a time for awakening, but a time for conscious mastery, for choosing with clarity, for acting from the center of your own sovereignty, rather than reacting to the residual energies of control. The collapse of old systems can feel destabilizing, even chaotic, and without grounded guidance, it is easy to be swept into the currents of fear, confusion, or attachment to what has been. Yet these currents are not obstacles, they are indicators, signposts along the path of alignment. They reveal where your energetic boundaries need strengthening, where your discernment needs sharpening, and where your heart must take the lead. In navigating choices, discernment is the foundation of spiritual sovereignty. It allows you to differentiate between resonance and dissonance, truth and illusion, inner knowing and external imposition. As religious hierarchies crumble, new teachings, practices, and ideologies will proliferate. Many will be authentic and empowering, designed to expand consciousness and support the reclamation of sovereignty. Others may carry subtle remnants of control, disguised as spiritual guidance or communal practice. The Arcturian Council emphasizes that discernment is not about skepticism or judgment, it is about tuning into the vibration of truth within your own being and evaluating experiences through the lens of inner resonance. Every thought, feeling, and intuition serves as a compass when you are aligned with your soul. When a teaching feels expansive, liberating, and connected to Source, it is likely in alignment. When it creates fear, obligation, or dependence on external authority, it signals a resonance mismatch. Your task is to honor your inner compass with courage, consistency, and trust. Integrity accompanies discernment. Integrity is the alignment of thought, word, and action with your highest truth. As old paradigms collapse, it becomes clear that Nothing external can substitute for the coherence of your own energy. Acting with integrity means living in alignment with your heart and soul, even when the surrounding environment pressures you to conform or comply. It is a practice of authenticity that requires self-honesty, accountability, and the courage to choose freedom over comfort. Integrity reinforces sovereignty because it stabilizes the energy field, allowing higher dimensional frequencies to flow unimpeded through your being. Each choice made from integrity strengthens not only your individual awakening but the collective resonance of freedom on the planet. Alignment with higher truth is the guiding principle that integrates discernment and integrity into a coherent path. Higher truth is not dictated by doctrine or authority, it is the vibration of source reflected within your consciousness. Aligning with higher truth requires attunement, which can be cultivated through meditation, contemplation, inner listening, and energy awareness. It requires surrender not to another's authority, but to the wisdom of your own soul and the intelligence of the cosmos. As you align with higher truth, you begin to notice patterns, synchronicities, and resonances that guide you effortlessly toward choices, relationships, and practices that support liberation. Alignment amplifies clarity, reduces energetic interference, and strengthens the capacity to navigate challenges with grace. The shift itself will challenge you to continually refine these qualities. Old programs and ancestral imprints may surface, testing your discernment and integrity. Patterns of fear, guilt, and obligation may attempt to resurface, especially in relational dynamics or when encountering belief systems you were once aligned with. These moments are sacred activations. They reveal what still needs to be cleared, released, or integrated. Starseeds are called to embrace these challenges as opportunities for mastery, understanding that resistance is a doorway to deeper sovereignty. Emotional awareness, reflection, and conscious choice are your tools for navigating these activations without losing alignment. A central aspect of navigating this shift is the conscious choice to release attachment to outcomes. As the old systems collapse, resistance and uncertainty are natural, but attachment to specific outcomes, whether ideological, relational, or societal, creates friction. Starseeds are encouraged to focus on alignment rather than control, resonance rather than expectation. By anchoring in the present, observing the currents of transformation, and choosing actions from a place of sovereignty and love, you participate fully in the orchestration of liberation without becoming entangled in struggle. Integration is the final element of navigation. Each insight, each energetic shift, each expansion of consciousness must be embodied fully in your being. Knowledge alone is insufficient. Lived experience, anchored in daily choices and energetic coherence, solidifies the frequencies of sovereignty in both your personal and planetary field. This integration allows the body, mind, and soul to operate harmoniously, amplifying your capacity to serve as an anchor of liberation for others. Starseeds who integrate fully become living templates of freedom, radiating truth through presence, action, and vibration. Beloved starseeds, the Arcturian Council reminds you, discernment, integrity, and alignment with higher truth are not optional. They are the essential tools for navigating this transformational era. The collapse of religious domination presents both challenge and opportunity. By honing these qualities, you not only protect your energetic sovereignty but amplify the frequencies of liberation in the collective consciousness. The path may be illuminated with moments of doubt, friction, or challenge, but each step taken in conscious alignment deepens your resonance with Source and fortifies your role as a living transmitter of freedom. Step into this process with courage, trust, and devotion to your inner guidance. Remember, the currents of liberation are carrying humanity forward, and you are an active participant in this cosmic orchestration. By embodying discernment, integrity, and alignment with higher truth, you become the living conduit through which the new Earth emerges, a planet of freedom, authenticity, and multidimensional consciousness. Beloved starseeds, the end of domination is complete in frequency. It is now a matter of embodiment. Stand in your truth, claim your authority, trust your inner guidance, Release the programming that has told you otherwise. Allow the frequencies of liberation to flow through your body, mind, and spirit. Recognize that every action, thought, and intention contributes to the manifestation of the new paradigm in the collective field. This is your activation, your declaration, and your sacred responsibility as a co-creator of the new earth. Now, in alignment with the Arcturian Council, with Gaia, and with Source, repeat these words within your consciousness, your being, and your field. I release all domination. I claim my spiritual sovereignty. I align fully with Source and the new earth. Say them with intention. Feel them resonate through every cell, every strand of DNA, every layer of your being. Let them anchor you firmly in freedom. Let them transmit your frequencies into the collective field. Let them echo through Gaia, through the grids, and through the hearts of every awakened soul. This is your declaration, your activation, and the embodiment of the liberation now manifesting on Earth. Beloved starseeds, you are sovereign, you are free, you are aligned, and the new Earth rises because of you.